Yeah, so that's why I love the Barbie movie so much.
It was such a
It was really
movie
good
for sure.
Yo, what's up, guys? You might be wondering why two grown men went to go see Barbie last night. Well, let me just tell you, there's so many reviews from so many different people, conservatives, liberals, everyone, people that don't care about politics whatsoever, and they're just like, the Barbie movie was great, the Barbie movie was bad. The box office says the movie did well. The Rotten Tomatoes said the movie did well, but it did not do well to us. It was a terrible
What would you
movie.
rate it on a scale of 1 to 10?
On a 1 to 10, and this is like someone who tried to go into the movie without being super, like, because you look through everything of the lens of woke, not woke. Like Top Gun was just a good movie, and there was no political agenda in it whatsoever. And then you see Star Wars: Last Jedi, and it was just a feminist propaganda, and it's like, and a lot of other annoying things. With this movie,
we went
I would
into
say,
it like with the expectation that it's probably going to be bad,
but didn't want to.
But you didn't want
I was
to.
trying very hard
No,
to be
one-
very
when-
objective, take
yeah.
out my own political beliefs. So let me rate it real quick. I'll say it was a 2 out of 10.
2 out of 10. 2 out of 10. So that's even lower, I think, than
It was bad.
yesterday.
It was
Yeah.
well, I didn't know what I don't even know what I said yesterday. Did I say 3? I might have said 3. I know you said 3. What did you
Okay.
think?
I said it was probably like a 5 out of 10. 5 only because there were good comedic moments.
Yeah.
Like Will Ferrell was hilarious in the movie.
Will
But
Ferrell and Ryan Gosling.
Will Ferrell gonna do Will Ferrell.
He's always
You know,
funny.
he's gonna be funny. And then Ryan Gosling, surprisingly, like
He's always funny.
Why? Okay, my thing is like this was a movie. Like we're gonna get into it. It was a feminist movie through and through.
100%.
Why were the guys the best part of the movie?
Like, it was literally defeating the
telling
purpose
you,
of why the movie was created.
without
Women
the men,
empowerment.
Without the man, I'm telling you, that movie would have been hot garbage.
And here's the thing, and Margot Robbie is like Margot Robbie, so it's like obviously
she's
eye
very
candy for all the guys that watch it. But she's a great actress. She's literally a great actress. Her and
100%.
Ryan Gosling, the acting in the movie was amazing.
Yeah.
If I was going to rate the acting, it'd be 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Ryan
yeah,
Gosling
sure.
was perfect. His comedic moments, his moments of vulnerability, whatever, even though it's cheesy sometimes because they made him such a simp and a wimp. But like, he's still such a good actor.
Yeah.
And Margot Robbie's an amazing actress. But it's just that's the only thing that made it somewhat entertaining. And Will Ferrell, like you said,
Yeah.
like, it was funny. But let's just go through what the movie actually, like the plot of the movie, step by step. And I was literally writing in my notes, like just everything I could remember back to back. I tried to look up like something online to have everything, but they didn't. At least I couldn't find it. And I really wanted to be like, people like Ben Shapiro went way too rough. Like, you guys, it wasn't that bad. People that friends of ours know said it wasn't that bad. And then politics, Alex Clark from Turning Point was like, you guys, all these conservatives are acting up. They weren't acting up.
I don't think they were.
This movie was trash.
It was not
and let's
good.
go step by step how bad it was. The beginning of the book,
Opening
or beginning of the movie, opening scene.
Yeah.
You see these little girls playing with dolls, and it's like, oh, they're cute. Yeah, that's what girls did when they were kids, right? We work with kids, and they literally play with baby dolls all the time. Apparently it's a bad thing, or it's not a bad thing, but as soon as Barbie was presented to them, they decided to go absolutely insane.
Yeah, I thought it was a little weird.
And start breaking Barbies. And that's like, this is not like a political thing, left or right. It's just weird. I wasn't like, oh, this is Pizzagate. You know, that's not what I was thinking.
Yeah.
But I was just like, why are they breaking, and it looked like glass babies.
Yeah.
Because the way it broke was so shattered.
Right. My thoughts, the initial like girl that saw the Barbie and was so just like, oh my god,
that's cool,
in awe, excited,
yeah, it's fine.
Smashed the baby. Initially, like, okay, it's funny. She had this baby doll she liked, and now this is way better.
Montage.
But then there was a whole montage of, no, we're smashing babies' heads, and
like, whoa,
all this.
What did the baby do? Hold on.
My immediate thoughts were, okay, I get it. Like, you like the new Barbie, whatever. My immediate thought was, were they trying to push like an abortion thing? That was my first thought. They're smashing babies. These little girls that see this Barbie that they want to aspire towards are now smashing babies or whatever. That was my first thought.
Oh, I didn't even think
like,
of that.
Why? Like, my first thought was like, okay, it's funny, the first baby. And then they continued going. I'm like, okay, what's going on with this? Why are they doing that? It was a little too much. It was just too long.
That's probably exactly. It was very long.
If it was a couple,
they said we're coming at them from what they did last year in June. They're like, how dare you overturn it?
If it was even just a couple, it's like, okay, you're sick of the old, you want the new.
Yeah.
But it just lasted too long. And I thought that was really, really weird.
Sure was. That's a good point. That's probably exactly what it was.
I don't know.
Say the point. Okay.
Yeah.
Barbie Land is real and everything is fake. So she wakes up at Barbie Land and like she's like floats down. Well, she goes in the shower that has no water. She eats these foods that she doesn't actually consume. She has water or milk and she just whatever. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert to everybody who hasn't seen the movie. Not that you have any intention
Full
to.
Spoiler review.
We're going through the whole movie step by step. This is complete spoiler. I apologize if you didn't know or you didn't watch it. Not that you would want to after watching this review. Barbie Land's fake. Everything's real. Food is fake. Water is not even there. And then the beach is like, we'll get to that. Legit.
Which,
Wasn't a beach.
I didn't mind.
Like, I don't have an issue with it.
Yeah.
There's no problem. We're in the good part of the movie still. It starts off with hope. We have hope right now. There's nothing negative going on. This is like, this is gonna be a good movie.
Hopefully,
it's like, okay, at least
Yeah.
Anyways, and right away, as soon as Ken's first scene, you see him, he's an immediate simp. Like it narrates that his sole purpose is to get a watchful eye from Barbie, and he's not solidified as a person or full as a person, fulfilled unless Barbie looks in his direction.
It says something like Barbie's happy being Barbie, but Ken is only happy when Barbie gives him attention or something like that. And I was just like, interesting.
Which is like my thing is this thing. Oh, go ahead.
I was never a hardcore Barbie fan. Not gonna say that I was.
Man, I'm not gonna lie.
But from what I've seen, Barbie and Ken have always been like in love together.
Yes.
It was that
Toy Story 3, guys.
There you go.
That's just a depiction of like them in real life. That was
the whole Ken and Barbie story. So like just that initial introduction, I'm like, that's interesting. That's not like
they don't like each other. They're not nervous to be around each other right now.
I was like, that's maybe this is like the origin. Maybe they fall in love or something like that. That was my okay.
And that's what may have happened if you keep watching this video. All the Barbies are doctors, lawyers. They run the Supreme Court justice. They are the astronauts. They're the construction workers. Like, there's actually a scene later when she sees construction workers. These are my girls. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
But it's all fine. It's all fine.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Nothing wrong with women being those things. It's just like the way that they made men seem so like insignificant and weak and servants to them was interesting. And it's fine. And obviously that's a play on what they think that in the real world men are.
That is what the patriarchy.
That's what they assume. But it was fine up until this point. It's fine.
Yeah,
it's Barbie land. Like if everyone knows that Ken is literally some side piece to Barbie. Barbie is the most. Yeah, she's the important part. She's the main attraction, and Ken is just like there for her.
You wouldn't expect an all Ken movie. This is not Ken's movie.
Nobody
we're there for Barbie.
Well, it kind of was. And now that you look at it,
we wanted a Barbie movie, and there was nothing wrong with Ken being a side character. No one cared about that. Yeah.
It's Ken's our beach. Did you understand what that was?
They never it was supposed to be funny, I guess. Like Ken's job is beach. All things beach, whatever that means. Yeah. They didn't know what it meant.
And then the homophobic joke, or not homophobic, or what is the word? The gay, let's just say gay joke.
Okay.
The gay joke they were making, I'm gonna beat you.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna beat you. I'm gonna beat you off.
I'll beat you off.
Yeah, they kept saying that.
I'll beat you off. I'll beat you. And it's like, okay, haha, the first time. And now you just keep going on.
It was a whole thing.
They kept going back and forth. I'm like, yo, this movie's targeted for what age? I was told it was targeted for like 7-year-olds and like mothers were bringing their kids here.
It was technically targeted for adults, but with all the pink, all the bright colors and all this, children were engaged and they wanted to see it. And it's Barbie, their favorite Barbie doll. So like they're going to watch it. But technically, it was for adults.
Good. That's not what Ben said, liar. Not any.
I mean,
okay. So basically, the part of the movie where like we hit like what is a bump in the road? People say is when Barbie like thinks of death. And she says something, and then she goes, "I'm dying to some of this party." Yeah, and everything goes back to normal. She wakes up the next morning, things aren't going as well, and she let's go through this. This is taking a minute. Got a lot more points, but he or she like everything doesn't go smoothly for her, obviously, and she's like getting cellulite and stuff, and she's trying to figure out her heels go down. She can't flat feet. She's not permanently healed up or whatever. And so she goes to the weird Barbie girl to try and figure out what's going on, because apparently she was the most beautiful Barbie in all the land until her human counterpart player was like beating the out of her kind of
which is real, and it happens.
That is real. That was funny.
So I thought, okay, it's cool that they
we're still going good. This is a good movie.
Fine.
Well,
it was interesting. It was interesting that like cellulite was like end all be all. That's the worst thing that could possibly happen to someone
for a woman,
which I think is like crazy.
Isn't that interesting?
I thought it was so weird that they like hyper focused on that.
Yeah,
that was just interesting. It's like superficial.
Yeah,
because like guys don't really care about that like that.
No, not really.
I think most guys. I mean, some guys are probably super whatever.
I don't think so. I mean, some guys
will. I think cellulite's a pretty normal thing.
Andrew Tate to the world. No, my girl's complete and utter perfect skin.
Yeah. But they made a big deal of it. Weird. But then she goes to see Weird Barbie. Because people go to Weird Barbie because she made it her mission to fix the broken Barbies, or the Barbies that are starting to break down because she was so messed up.
Toy maker.
Right. She's essentially,
So Barbie, she basically Weird Barbie tells her to go to the to real world. Go meet the girl that's been playing with you, so that you can basically figure out what it is going on, fix the problem that's going on. She's on her way in a car that doesn't actually drive, but it does.
So
and Ken pops up at the back and he's like, "Oh, I'm coming with you." She's like, "No," and then he's like, "Please," something like that. They're begging, paraphrasing, and so she allows him to. First thing that happens when they get to the real world, they're on the rollerblades, wearing the weirdest costumes you've ever seen.
Bright, and
they're like, I think they're green roller skates or light neon, bright neon green roller
pink
skates.
wheels or something.
Yeah, and they're like riding through the street, and like all these people are staring at them, rightfully so, because of what they're wearing. And it's immediate. Margot Robbie's impeccable acting. She really played the part of feeling uncomfortable and feeling like she was in a violent situation. Which she did narrate to herself, I think. When you look good or when you look weird, people are gonna stare.
Yeah, because Ken in the same exact situation was eating it up. He
was
loved
like,
it.
Yeah, stare at me.
He's like, hold on. Let me
puff
my chest out real quick.
Flex real quick.
Kind of feeling good. It was just so weird because obviously they wanted you to think, oh, it's so disgusting that all these men are just staring at a woman, right? How dare they? They just want her body, whatever. But
and they were saying some of the guys were saying things that people don't say.
Yeah, it's not normal.
Like some people do. There's weirdos. There is weirdos. Yeah, but it's not a good representation of all men. Yeah, and so that's what's so annoying. They like to generalize everything. You see that in this movie. It's just a generalization of each sex. Like
100%.
Male are this way, female are this way. Females are the heroes, men are the villains. Like that's just what it is.
Through and through. That was like
the message of
like
the movie.
Theme of the movie, yeah.
So they go here, and I think she goes up. The next thing is she goes up to this Sasha was her name. This girl in her at a high school with her group of friends, which you said apparently was apparently supposed to be like a representation.
Yeah, the four girls that she went up to in the movie, Sasha and whatever, they were supposed to represent the Bratz dolls, which the Bratz dolls were in high competition against Barbie in the early 2000s, and then Barbie obviously like won the war essentially. So and then comes up immediate just negative energy. Yeah, immediate.
She's saying like you're the reason why girls are like, I don't know, I'm paraphrasing again, like insecure and like you're an unrealistic standard and you're fascist and consumerism and you're the
love that fascist
all
word,
these
bro.
things, just throwing it out there, and I was just like, yo, what?
First of all,
Barbie doll is doing all that for you?
Right. Isn't that crazy? Because like they're in the real world, so Barbie is just like a Barbie.
Yeah.
Fascist is crazy, because they don't know what that means. Because if you look at Barbie and who she is and
we're all fascists,
what she
according
represents
to them,
even just the energy she brought when she was like, "Oh, like you should thank me because there was Barbie, there was the original Barbie, stereotypical Barbie, and then there was lawyer Barbie and Dr. Barbie, all these different Barbies that were like heroes, which I'm sure some women saw that were like, oh, okay, I can be this, which is a positive thing. But now she's a fascist for being who she is and for wanting thanks.
Being a strong, independent Black woman.
Again, she wasn't
black. Well, there wasn't one Black one, and she was the president.
She was the president. Shout out to Michelle Obama.
Yeah, that wasn't. And my thing is, that's not even an issue. I do not care. Like that shouldn't be a controversial thing that you put a Black person as a president. Well, that should not be something that's weird.
Yeah.
And if you think that's a problem, then that's you're fueling the liberals' mindset anyway. Like
right. Anybody should be able to be anything.
Yeah.
Right. It's not. We don't care about that. It's the fact that all men were evil in this movie.
Yep.
That's.
Ken is figuring out the patriarchy.
That's crazy.
Living it up. Yeah. He's just like, oh my gosh. Like I've never seen
bro was strutting his strut. He was strutting.
He was so happy.
But like when you think about it, like he's coming from a place where women rule everything and men are like insignificant roles.
Actually rule everything.
Actually, they are in every position of power.
Your sole purpose is to look good, get paid attention when they want to pay you attention, and
beach.
That's it. So he's like, wow, people like respect me. They look at me and honor me. I just say something to them. They're immediately like, they're responsive to me. Mm-hmm. They're not dismissive of me. That's crazy.
Yeah. And someone asked him the time, and it was the biggest deal ever because no one's asked anything of him ever in his life. So he's over here like, oh my goodness. And this is like normal. Yeah. And then checks out these books
and of course,
in the library
so they can push the whole thing. Yeah. Patriarchy. Like patriarchy is amazing. It's like, wow, I got to tell the guys about this. Goes back. Yeah. Before he goes back, he sees Mattel, which is they're obviously aware of Mattel because of Barbie. And whatever.
They created Barbie.
So he sees Barbie going in the truck with Mattel. He goes back to Barbie land to tell everyone, the Kens and everyone, about what he learned about how men are in the real world, the patriarchy, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. Barbie goes into Mattel. She meets the board of all men that are all men, every man, which is not even accurate. Ben Shapiro looked it up on his stream. there's like 4 women on the board and 5 men, or it might be the other way around. So it's pretty evenly split.
Right.
So why in the movie is it all men? Oh, to prove your point, to push this agenda. That's
woman,
crazy.
In the real world, women can't be in those positions. So
that
insane.
Is
they didn't want to represent real life.
Well, the fact that there actually is
that in that specific company is the craziest.
And it's
part.
like my thing is, it's a Barbie movie. It's like, oh, guys, don't make a big deal about it. But like, when you're clearly trying to make some perceive something that's not true, and like when young people are seeing this, it's how they're going to believe. They're going to think that's true. And so you can say, oh, it's just a Barbie movie. It's not a big deal. And if it is for adults, and it was mainly adults watching it, they can decipher between truth and fiction. But that's not necessarily going to be the case with all these kids going to see the movie, and they're all going to. If a 6-year-old sees this is going to be in their mind.
Marketing was for kids. Don't get me wrong. Like marketing, full-fledged for kids, but they call it like a PG-13 adult movie. Like they. Like on the fine line, it's an adult movie, but definitely was catered towards kids.
Well, there's no inappropriate stuff in the trailers from what I remember.
No, never. So you wouldn't have watched one trailer and thought it was a hardcore feminist movie.
Yeah.
You would have thought it was just, Barbie went
to
the
we all knew it was
going
to be though at the same time.
Yeah.
But what's weird is it's still weird to me though, because the board is half women.
And she went to the real world. She didn't go to some,
which is also a fantasy, or not even a fantasy. It's not a fantasy. It's because it's negative, but it's like men, like they just. Men are the worst. So and then even the part with Ken was like, he's like, so the patriarchy is like, is it real anymore? He's like, I mean, it's not operating like that, but it still is. We just hide it better or something.
When he
went
up to the businessman.
Yeah,
I was just like, okay, they just had that. Had that.
Like when you make movies, you're supposed to make movies for everyone, and people, half the country does not believe that garbage, and half of them do. So why do you think? I mean, obviously you're doing well still, but it's a Barbie movie, so kids are going to go see it, and parents are going to bring their kids to see it. That's 100%. Why it's doing well, not because people that are grown actually think that men are ruling the world in a dictator or a dictator type way. At least not in America.
No, I don't think so. And I just thought it was.
I mean, there probably are men in positions of power
around the world, but like it was just so corny. To add something so like corny. That, I just cringe so hard.
Say not anymore.
He's just like, so this patriarchy thing, like, give me a job, and then you need an MBA, you need this. Well, I thought in the patriarchy, men were this, that, and the other, and he's just like, well, we still are, but we do it in a different way nowadays.
It would have been better if he just said no. If you wanted to make a snarky little jab at the conservative side of things or reality, you could say, "Oh no, that's not how it is," and like smirk. You didn't have to say we hide it better. That's going too far. If you wanted to make that little jab, it should have been just like a little smirk after you said that, like, obviously I'm lying.
Yeah.
Like if you wanted to say that was true. But that's just we'll just blatantly say that. That sounds such BS. Anyway.
Yeah, it's fake. Not representation of reality.
What happened next? Barbie gets picked up by Mattel. Yeah. Ken learns about the patriarchy. Ken makes Barbie. Oh, okay. Ken makes Barbie Land Kenland.
Yep.
And so Barbie brings Sasha and her mom, which I don't remember her name. She's the feminist hero of the movie. She brings her to the land. Things been turned. It's turned from Barbie Land to Kenland, and she's like distraught that all these things are happening. The dream house. What he calls it, the something casa. I couldn't remember what it was.
What was it? Something stupid casa house.
Yeah, it was funny though. It was funny.
Right. So you see, like initially, she's driving in, just like, oh, this is weird. The president is serving like beers to men playing volleyball. Why would the president be serving beers to this? And she's like happy.
Yep.
She's like, oh my goodness, I'm so glad I don't have to work anymore.
Yeah.
Gives a beer to the guy. She keeps driving, sees other women serving the man or whatever. And it's just like, this is not right. This is wrong. Because that's never been in Barbie Land. It's usually the other way around, right? And then she pulls up to the Ken house, to the Ken casa, whatever house. And Ken is just like, hey, welcome to, the Kendom.
Kenland or something like Kendom, yeah.
Yeah.
And Barbie is like distraught, crying, blah, blah, blah. Sasha and her mom walk away. Alan ends up in the back of the car, I believe. He's like, they're driving off. And Alan has this unnecessary fighting scene with all these other people that are building a wall, Trump reference.
So crazy.
It's like they can't help. He's been in office for almost 4 years, and they still cannot help but bring Trump up in everything. The little wall jab at the wall. Like nobody knew about Barbie Land.
There's also another jab at how men are dumb, because it's like as soon as the men figure out how to build a wall sideways, then they'll actually, keep people from going in and out. They only know how to build up. Like men are dumb and stupid. Like it's just continual jabs at men. And men do everything wrong.
It's interesting.
Throughout the entire movie.
Which is crazy, like that they do that.
It's just, well, you literally can't say that. Like, that's not a representation of reality because men have accomplished a lot of things, women have accomplished a lot of things. So it's just insane. I wish the
when
movie,
it comes to like infrastructure and building, and men definitely know what they're doing.
Like, right? If we're being real,
crazy. Like that's the one where you're gonna do the jab at. Like, didn't want to do cooking or something.
I just wish the movie, like, through this point was just more of a men and women unite type thing. Not men are better than women, not women are better than men. More unity, and when they go to the real world, they see that they're even if they were saying men were predominantly like more successful, showing that women are making it. Women are making strides because that's the reality. A woman in the workplace, like, and not even just because there's quotas, there's women thriving and striving in all these different fields. Like, that's the reality of what's happening in America. They didn't want to push that message. They didn't want to push the truth. They wanted to push this agenda so women can feel more what's the word? Victimized.
Well, and another problem is like they act like a lot of the advantages that women have in this country specifically are because men, good-hearted men, wanted women to have that ability. You couldn't have voted for a woman to be able to write or amend the right for a woman to be able to vote without men, because only men were in positions of power to vote.
Right.
So, but like, or in just almost everything, even with the Roe v. Wade, they're like, oh, men should have no say in a woman's body. Literally, men are the ones that passed Roe v. Wade to begin with.
Like, I guess they didn't have the right to do that in the first place.
They didn't have the right. So must overturn it because they didn't have that right. So it's just stupid. It was so dumb, and it's just a cesspool of just feminist propaganda, the entire thing. And there was a random, thank God, hopeful or funny moments. That were there.
Oh my goodness!
Had it not been there, it would have been the worst movie I've ever seen, because all they're doing is attacking men. And obviously, that movie's not targeted towards men, so maybe that's why it's doing well with women, or people that are watching it, because like men. Obviously, we saw it, but only for the purposes of trying to see if it actually was what people were saying. I had no desire. I still haven't seen Little Mermaid because I was like, I'm not gonna watch this. This is so intentional, like what you're doing. I haven't seen it. I don't want to see it, but this one I had to see because I was just like, they did it, didn't they? They did.
They sure did.
So, anyways, let's fast forward to Barbie and Sasha's mom, and Sasha were at the weird person's house. They go in there. I think that the weird Barbie thought that she was getting attacked by the Kens initially, so they're hiding or whatever, and then they come out and like, oh, it's just you, blah blah blah. And Sasha's mom goes on a super inspirational, powerful, strong rant about women. We're not pretty enough, but we put on makeup. If we put on makeup, we put on too much makeup. If we lose weight, we lost too much weight. We need to be fit, but we can't talk about it. We'll I'm like, literally, half the things you're saying are attributable to men and women. Half the things, obviously not makeup. Well, James Charles, but like it's literally, it's so like one-sided and so not true, because men struggle with a lot of those things that she said too, like contradicting statements from women in dating, like, oh, I'm not dating right now. I'm interested in you, but I'm just not doing it right now. 5 minutes later, you're in a relationship with some other guy, because you that's not true. You're contradicting yourself because you're in a relationship, even though but you just weren't into that guy. It's fine. Right. You wanted to be in like, which is totally cool. Sure. But like men deal with a lot of the things that they were saying that were specifically in this. It's so hard to be a woman. It's hard to be a human. Like, there's a lot going on in the world. The things that are always against you. Like, not everyone's for you. People do things to make themselves get higher, even if it's at the expense of your, comfortability or liking. They don't care because people are for them. And to sit there and act like it's a men versus women thing is so dishonest. And that's what broke the brainwashing for the first Barbie, who happened to be black, because of course you got to free the slaves. I'm just kidding. Gotta free the slaves.
Not free the slaves.
No, it was crazy. I was like, yo, and then by one,
it was such a cringe moment.
That whole montage
she was just going off, and all these women are brainwashed because of the men, and I'm just,
how they never showed that.
No, they didn't, because you can't. You wouldn't have been able to,
because they enjoyed it so much. When you first came back to Kenland, they were loving being the ones that just holding the beer, pouring them. Oh, I like this so much better. It's so much better than my other responsibility that I had.
I have to work as hard or whatever. And if that's the choice that you want to make, sure.
It's up to you.
Yeah. But like, no, that's an evil brainwashing tactic by men. So.
But they didn't say how they brainwashed. They didn't show how they brainwashed. It literally just showed them enjoying it. And then it was like, oh, I'm broken free from get out of here.
I also thought it was interesting how every time it showed the pregnant woman, it was a negative thing. Which they did discontinue that Barbie, real.
So it's funny.
So it's funny, but it's also like they focused on that 2 times, a little too much, and it's like pregnant woman bad, woman working good. I didn't like that. Was just
little subliminal message for
like
you.
just tiny little jabs at the idea of being a stay-at-home mom or someone that just cares about raising a family. That's a negative thing. Being pregnant, negative.
Apparently,
a woman on her grind, being president in the Supreme Court, whatever. That's amazing. But if you want to be a pregnant woman at home, it's terrible.
Because literally, women are the ones that create the president. So the women are the ones that are raising the next generation.
Yeah.
The woman, that's a huge responsibility.
Yeah.
Just demean that. I mean, they did say something about how, like, if you want to be a mother, you should be a mother. If you don't want to, that's fine. Like, they're saying all those kind of things. But it's like, you say that, but then you show, like, you're slyly, and like at this point, people see it.
Mm-hmm.
People aren't as ignorant to propaganda and media influence and television and subliminal messages that are hidden, like hidden meanings. They look for them now.
Yeah.
So when you're putting those in your movies, nobody's hidden. Like if 10 years ago we watched this movie, it's hilarious, right?
Sure.
Like, it's dumb. It's not the greatest movie ever, but it's like, this is funny. This is crazy. Like, obviously this isn't true. This isn't real. But people think that way. And so it makes it not funny anymore because you think that's real.
Mm-hmm.
And so now we have to make videos like this to combat the lunacy that is being presented on hundreds of million budget film that's made almost a billion.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's ridiculous. And what is it? The last part. So they break them from the Matrix.
Yeah.
Break them from the Matrix.
And then this next part, I feel like is just so crazy.
Let's talk about the Ken battle or after the Ken battle.
Even before the Ken battle, it's like the women are now like they're out of their spell, and there's gonna be a vote to change the Barbie Constitution into the Ken Constitution,
which doesn't make sense.
Yeah,
because if they changed everything to Ken land, why would you even need to vote on it? And if you did need to vote on it, why wait 48 hours? Why not just do it right away?
It is interesting.
They didn't explain that. We took full power over them, but at the same time, we need to wait 40 hours to do that doesn't make sense. But okay, go ahead.
But before then, they're like, okay, now we need to cause strife between the men. We need them to bicker and fight against each other. So what's the tactic? Let's butter them up, get them super excited and happy, get them to their peak. And what are we gonna do after that? Make it look like we're cheating on them with someone else. We're gonna have Mr. See a girl with all the guys. So now all the guys are fighting over a girl. And I'm just like, why is that? Like, it's a positive thing for them. The women are happy about it. I'm like, that's such a negative thing to get men happy and excited. And that guys aren't gonna play guitar for 6 hours. That pissed me off too.
No.
The whole like they're just gonna have to listen and be bored and have a man play guitar for what that was annoying. But the fact that they were together and happy, and let's get the man to his peak just to rip all his happiness away, all the joy away, and go to another man. Like that made me so upset.
But you know what else? On top of that, because that is messed up. Men would not have reacted the way that they think men are reacting, especially in the worldly men.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna get mad that another hot girl comes to them instead of you. Like they can have multiple options. Like okay, let me butter you up, let me be with you, let me make you so excited, and then let me just go to the next guy. And then it'd be one thing if you just went to the next guy. Another girl showed up for him.
Yeah.
So it's just a rotation of girls. If they're in the manosphere, they're loving it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, because they were even just the term, they weren't actually girlfriend or husband or wife. It was like my long distance relationship. I don't even know the term they get. It was something weird. It was not my actual girlfriend, but like
you're basically like the manosphere talks about. Like, my side piece. Like, whatever. Like, I'm not my main chick and my multiple blah blah blah.
Yeah.
So like, if that is the case, why would they care that much? So you went to the next person because they have another one. I
was like, it wouldn't matter.
It's not realistic.
Yeah. I was like, corny.
I was like, no.
The men. Honestly, one of my favorite parts was the men dance battle thing. I thought it was funny. It was like the men were fighting, and then it turned into a bro like relationship. United, now we're happy and united. Oh, but the men were so stupid, and the women were able to vote on the Barbie Constitution while the men were being dumb doing their dance battle, fighting amongst themselves.
And then to top it off, and I think this might be more towards the end, or might they say they go the Mattel guy goes there and he's like, we're gonna make everything back to Barbie Land. It's gonna be back at how it used to be. No, it's gonna be a little just a tiny bit different.
Tiny bit.
He's like, can I be one of the Barbie or the Kens go, can I be part of the Supreme Court justice? You think think about it the other way. A woman says in the real world, I want to be a part of the Supreme Court justice, and we're like encouraging her to do that. Like friggin' Joe Biden, you need a black woman there. Anyways,
had to be black.
We're in Barbie Land, and I think it was a black Ken that said that. She's like, no, you can't do that. Maybe a low circuit court judge or something like that. And they were like, yes. So, yeah, what?
Imagine Imagine
they said
it the other way
men
around.
are gonna be what women are in the real world. Like that's the level of like prominence they'll have in Barbie Land is how women are in the real world. That is not even true because there is a Supreme Court justice in the real world.
And there are what, men and women on that?
Yep.
Yep.
A woman, I meant. Yeah. So it's like,
Yeah.
that's not accurate.
No, not
it's
at
not
all.
true.
And
it was the whole movie.
It was just like, oh, we're building up with it because it seemed like it was a good moment. We're not gonna have just the Barbie Constitution. We're not gonna have it as the way things were, where women rule everything. We're gonna change it. Oh, but then they had to add the little bit of okay, but what men are gonna have it just as good as women have it in the real world. And their idea
wasn't accurate.
And their idea of the real world was the patriarchy is everything. Men rule everything, and women have such little standing in the real world. So in their eyes, men will still have little standing in Barbie Land. So it's just so like it doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, they're gonna be seen as less than.
Yes,
but it's just not. It wasn't accurate.
It's so
because there is a Supreme Court justice woman in the real world.
Yeah,
but the black Ken guy who asked if he could be a part of it was told no, declined.
Nope, too black.
It was funny because of Ryan Gosling and Will Ferrell. And Margot Robbie's a great actress.
The movie.
Margot Robbie's a great actress.
You take Will
Everest
Ferrell,
Wolf of Wall Street, Focus, all those things. Okay.
You take Will Ferrell or Ryan Gosling out of the movie, it's terrible. It's literally hot garbage. That without, even if it was just another comedian, Will Ferrell delivered so perfectly.
He always delivers perfectly
on all of his lines.
Hilarious.
Just everything he did was hilarious. From his little fall onto the desk to just him like walking up into Barbie, like everything was perfect. And then Ryan Gosling was just corny, funny, whatever.
He's just goofy.
He was like a child, honestly.
Yeah, I know.
Like
and I don't like that. Like I think you said this before we started. Was that Ken and Barbie is literally seen as like this couple. Obviously, Barbie's a star, but Ken is like her counterpart, and they love each other
for Barbie.
And they're legit like, I don't love him. And this is literally this glorification of like people not love. Like even with Snow White, apparently they're not going the direction of like Prince True Love's Kiss and like Prince Charming and like they're going away from that. I'm like,
yeah,
that's literally I think it was some gay guy on TikTok like, you're literally taking away the magic of Disney. You're literally taking away, everybody watched Disney and was so excited about the true love being conquering all and how like you can find the love of your life in these magical moments and taking it all away. Woman empowerment is all that matters.
She's gonna be the strong woman her father always told her she could be or something like that.
Yeah, something dumb. I'm like, yo,
just make another movie, not even bro. White. Make another. That's the thing.
No,
we don't even get into that.
To the next one.
That makes me so tight. But
in the seven minority diversity picks, Snow White and the 7 diversity picks. So it's because none of them are dwarfs. They're all like black and like minority people. I'm like, that's kind of disrespectful.
It is. It is. You're not. Well, I think it's more disrespectful to like take 6 other dwarves that could have been in the movie out of it because they wanted to be more.
What's the name of the guy who plays Tyrion Lannister?
Peter Dinklage.
He would have been a great Grumpy.
But he was the one that was like leading the cause of it's offensive to have a bunch of little people in it. Like he said that. And I think that's the reason Disney took it so seriously. And I'm like, you're selfish to take all the fame for yourself. I can be a successful little person or dwarf, but all the other ones that want to be in this movie, no, because it's offensive to our people.
It's a sign of the times because he was finally being called an angry elf in the Elf movie. He had no issue, got paid handsomely for it, I'm sure. Had no problem, but because it's a sign of the times, now everything's offensive. Everything we triggered by literally everything possible.
Yeah.
Now, people, like you said, dwarves are out of a job.
Yeah.
And there's how many opportunities are dwarf actors getting?
Probably very little.
Probably not at all. He got lucky with Game of Thrones. I don't know if that's how the original books are. I didn't read them.
I don't know.
But like,
it was a great storyline. But anyways, Barbie movie. Did we touch everything?
I think we got to the end.
Got to the end.
Barbie gets Barbie back. Yeah. We're basically hit that. I mean, obviously she met the creator of Barbie. Who apparently they made jabs at her because apparently she must have had tax evasion or legal issues in the real world.
So let's take all her advice.
So they said,
I'm just like they put it in the movie. I had serious tax evasion issues, but also I know all about the human heart and being a good person.
And instead of her and Ken ending up like together, like loving each other, although I mean, I don't even want Barbie to end up with Ken because Ken was so weird and like not masculine. Clearly created that way by the script, but like the first thing she does is go see a gynecologist because you got a vagina now or something. I'm like, okay, like, I guess it's kind of funny. It'd be funny if everything else we had seen in the movie hadn't led up to like this annoying moment, like woman empowerment. I get to go see a gynecologist at the end of the movie. I was like, okay,
yeah, that's what you're super excited for. My rating, honestly, it might have dropped. It was 5 out of 10 at the beginning of this.
But as we
recount the movie, I feel like it's probably 4. Like the moments that were funny are the only reason it has a 4. Without them, it's Terrible.
No, but my thing
literally
is,
such a terrible
a movie shouldn't be successful based off the actors that are in it, or just the ability of the actor either. Although acting is a huge role,
Yeah.
the script should be good. The
plot.
story
If
should
the
be
plot
something
isn't
that
good.
is engaging and
Yeah.
entertaining, and that you love every moment of it.
Yeah.
And that just wasn't the case with this movie.
It just it had the good moments. Like a movie that just has good moments. Any movie has a few good moments, but overall a bad story. It's a terrible movie.
Right.
And everyone else is booked.
And that's how I felt about, like, for me, like, you know, Marvel, DC. DC I love way more than Marvel.
Yeah.
In reality, like, characters wise, but like Marvel does a better job with movies.
You can even talk Batman versus Superman. They had some really cold moments, like the Batman fight scene.
You know how hard I fought that?
Yeah.
Who was it?
But
oh, go ahead.
yeah, no, they had great fight scenes. Superman
Batman going hard.
Just Superman just being like pushing Batman away like it was nothing. Beautiful. Was the plot good? No. They bonded over the name being Martha. Like, that was dumb. So, like, it's not. They had good moments.
Mom's name's Martha.
Right. Oh, now we're not fighting.
What did you just say?
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah.
I'm gonna kill you, but oh, your name's Martha too. Okay, I'm not gonna kill you anymore.
Here's the thing. I sometimes sympathize with that a little bit, because if you're about to kill somebody and they say your mom's name, you might be like, huh?
Maybe you're hesitant.
So I understand why he's like, why'd you say that name? That's weird. But like,
sure,
for that to be such a huge thing when now you're friends.
Yeah,
I'm saying
the switch up from I'm gonna kill you to now I'm gonna save your mom is crazy. But it was not a good movie.
I got into that for a reason though.
Yeah,
because the movie wasn't that good, even though it had iconic characters with good actors.
Yes,
Henry Cavill was a good actor, but Marvel was amazing. I remember watching Batman vs Superman. I think it came out first before Civil War, like a few months before. Yeah. And I was like, or maybe I don't know which one came out first, but I remember thinking like, yeah, it was good. Like, I think Dolores actually asked me, she's like, what did you think? I was like, it was good. Like, I didn't want to say it was bad because it was my two favorite heroes in DC.
So much.
And then we saw Civil War, and I was like, this is amazing. I was like, this is literally, it's night and day, these two movies, and it's sad. Yeah, because it should have been great. It should have, and that's what Barbie should have been. Not that I care about Barbie, but it should have been a great movie. It should have. It wasn't.
Definitely could have been. But yeah,
and it had great actors. Great actors.
That's a sad.
Love Ryan Gosling. He's like top 5 for me.
If you want to watch the movie, you know, like, consider what we said, but like,
waste those 2 hours. Go ahead.
I mean, you go right ahead and waste your time. Listen, if you want to see a beautiful production with great colors that pop and great actors act, and that's all you care about, watch the movie.
You don't care about storyline.
If you don't want to be triggered, like, I hate the word trigger, but like, if you don't like hearing a lot of feminist propaganda, don't see the movie, because that is what you will hear through and through. You hear a lot of men are bad throughout the entire thing. You hear a lot of when there's a matriarchy, things are successful.
Yeah, which some men are bad.
There are bad
just not
people,
all.
though. There's
that's
bad
the problem.
people.
Well, yeah, women too. I'm saying there's bad people.
That's just
the word versus woman thing is crazy.
The human race. There's bad women. There's bad men. I'm so sick of even just toxic masculinity. Like, that's not a thing. It doesn't exist.
And if there's toxic masculinity, there's
toxic people, and they can be men and they can be women. Just that whole idea of putting the gender behind a word
or an
issue like that is just that's more toxic. That creates more division.
It's intentional though.
And yeah, 100%.
Intentional.
100%. So I wouldn't recommend the movie for anybody, but hey, if you want
a few laughs and you like a diehard Margot Robbie, Ryan Gosling fan,
or Will
and
Ferrell,
you don't care about losing 2 hours in your day, then I mean, it's funny at moments, but
there
it's like
moments.
But it's just know what you're gonna get. Is all we're saying. So, I think there's not really much else to say.
I think we hit everything.
We'll see you guys next time. I know it's been a minute since we've gone live, but
we'll catch you on the next one.
Catch you on the next video. Peace.